Welcome back to the series exploring the Adrift Lands. In this entry, I'd like to discuss what makes stones float. This is a core mechanic of the setting, and I think it's important to lay down the rules and restrictions of how this works. Related to this, I will also discuss how power is stored and generated. Now, if you spend 5 minutes browsing the TV Tropes website, you'll find that floating cities is not a new or unique setting, nor are magical elements or crystals that can power technology. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm breaking new ground here or coming up with new concepts. And if you've convinced yourself that you've come up with something new or never before seen, spending time on the TV Tropes website will quickly teach you otherwise. So what I've come up with is a bit of a mishmash of multiple pre-existing ideas fused together into something that will serve the storytelling aspects of my world, which is basically how all creativity and art creation works. Even AI art. So, the natural process that caused stones to float on the world of Aethra is due to an airborne particle called malleum. This chemical element is found in higher concentrations closer to the surface of the planet, below cloud cover. When it rains, this particulate is drawn out of the air through coagulation and is deposited on the surface, where it seeps through the cracks and seams of stone. The precipitate left behind when the water evaporates crystallizes and fuses with the stone. The crystallized element itself looks like copper with a soft inner glow. As such, this new stone crystalline structure is commonly called mountain copper, and to alchemists it is known as lithomalite. Lithomalite has the ability to absorb energy from the frequent electrical storms that roll across the surface, and when it has absorbed enough energy, it will then begin to float. The longer it absorbs energy, the stronger this effect gets, and the longer it lasts. Aged lithomalite will retain the ability to float even when not powered, though the amount of lift generated is greatly reduced. Eventually, the stone will break away from the surface and lift whatever is connected to it with it. As discussed in the previous video, this stone then naturally moves and follows an orbit around the planet when it is within the tropical zone for currently unknown reasons. Alchemists on Aethra have found a way to extract and distill malleum out of the stone, and with it make ingots that can retain power. As with natural lithomalite, these ingots can absorb great deals of energy, again from electrical storms, and release it slowly in the form of heat. From the heat generated, they can power thermoelectric generators called conflux reactors. A medium ship usually has a reactor about 4 feet in length to power their thrusters, which will provide enough energy for 1,000 kilometers of travel before needing to be recharged. Since malleum loses its power of lift when extracted from stone, ships and other craft will have discs of carefully shaped lithomalite to provide lift, called ascension discs. The generator can power the discs if needed, but once powered, the ascension discs can provide active lift for months before needing to be recharged. When alloyed with other metals, malleum can be used to make wires and circuits for use in technology. In order to capture power from electrical storms, energy collectors have been created called storm vanes. To generate enough energy to recharge reactor ingot cores, a large number of storm vanes are required, so ships will usually need to stop at an established city to refuel and cannot recharge their reactors on the go. Smaller storm vanes installed on ships can usually only power and recharge small malleite batteries that can run basic electronics and communication devices. So, that is it for this entry. I hope you like what I've come up with for the power system in the Adrift Lands. I know these initial entries can be a bit dry without any lore to go with them, such as where does malleum come from? Why is it there? The way I look at it, I first want to lay down the foundations for the setting, and then once the foundations have been set, we can have fun exploring the societies and the lore that have been built atop those foundations. We have to do our homework first before we can go out and play. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below.